Carlos Ramirez, owner of NVS Audio in Roselle, New Jersey and Daytona, Florida. So Shaka just shipped us his bike from Texas. Beautiful road glide. Just had the audio upgraded on the bike recently. Was not happy at all. Didn't get everything he asked for. He asked for built-in GPS in the new Soundstream radio. Didn't get that. Asked for Sirius satellite radio. Didn't get that. Didn't like the way the bike sounded. All high quality equipment on the bike. Took it to another shop to get tuned. Still couldn't get it to sound right. Gave up, reached out to me, and he shipped us the bike. He's actually flying in tomorrow, so we can go over a game plan together. But we broke the bike down and found at least 10 mistakes. This is what we're dealing with right now. But the most disappointing part is you sell the client a 2400 watt amp, then you let your technician install the amplifier with the leftover wiring from the Rockford Fosgate plug and play kit. So you have an 8-gauge wire with a 60 amp fuse going to a 2000 watt amp that requires 4-gauge wire and at least 150 amp fuse. But that's where the problem started. Then I don't know what happened. Maybe one of the channels on the DSP wasn't working. Instead of going back in and reconfiguring the DSP, they ran channel 1 and 2 into 1 and 2 of the amp. Channel 3 they Y-jacked into channel 3 and 4. That's why the second shop couldn't tune the bike, because the two 6x9s were running mono off channel 3. So whatever changes he tried to make to channel 4 did not apply. I don't know if they were getting sound, if they were getting noise. I don't know what the problem was, but it's an 8-channel DSP. Even if you didn't have another one in stock and channel 3 was giving you a hard time, you can move channel 3 and 4 onto 5 and 6. But if the DSP is bad, we're just going to warranty it for them. I already reached out to HKI. They said they'd take care of it. You really need to treat your customers a little bit better. The poor guy had to ship the bike 1,000 miles away to get a simple 4-speaker setup fixed and tuned. But while we have him here, we're going to upgrade to 10s in the bags and finish the install the rest of the way, because he trusts that we'll be able to do it right. As an industry, we really have to do better. I mean, a 4-speaker setup, customer spent a ton of money. He upgraded the battery to a lithium on a 4-speaker setup with no woofers in the bags. So obviously, if you made a recommendation, he's going to go for it. He went for the $2,000 radio. Quality client that's being screwed over by a shop. Can't believe it, but we're going to make it right for him. This is part 1 of the video. Part 2 will be up in a couple of days. Check it out. So we just had this beautiful road glide shipped to us from Texas. The client literally just had the install done. He was not happy with it, so he immediately shipped us the bike. First thing we noticed when we turned the ignition on, I'm assuming that's the fan. They might have tweaked the body of the amplifier and they bolted it down. This is a brand new install. It doesn't even have 100 miles on it. All good equipment, all equipment we like to use. Why they tied the crossover to the side of the 6x9 is beyond me. Cicada makes tethers to where you can hide the crossover under the tether. But since it's here, we're gonna fix the issues that he has. He requested built-in navigation. They never installed in the radio. He requested Sirius satellite radio. They never installed it, so we're gonna add those. And then since the bike's here, he's gonna go ahead and do 10s. Another amplifier, but it's a shame they couldn't get the first part of the install right, but we get to make it right for him now. First nitpick, DSP's not bolted down. That's going to cause issues. And of course, if the DSP's not bolted in, there's no way the amp is going to be bolted in. Gotta be careful, that causes noise issues from it bouncing around. Oh God. They jump power for the DSP off the amplifier. I hate it when they do that. These speaker wires are too thin, considering this is a 2400.4, the most powerful 4-channel that Sound Digital makes. And it says right in the installation manual that you're supposed to use 4-gauge. They used 8-gauge. So it is now turned into a wiring rescue. We have to pull it, and the answer is in the owner's manual. The owner's manual tells you what size power wire to use. Looks like 18-gauge speaker wire. So this amp never had a chance to give the speakers all the power that they're asking for, but we'll fix it. We got this, Josh?
Yeah.
there's something very suspicious going on here. So we have 4 RCAs here. When we go to the DSP, we only have 3 RCAs. So they might have damaged the output of the DSP and then used a Y jack from channel 3 to feed channels 3 and 4. I don't know why they did that, but 3 channels used on the DSP. 1, 2, and 3. 4 channels used on the amp. Let's pull it apart and figure out why they did that. Crossover's just dangling back there, hanging out. And we're trying to remove the saddlebag, but we can't because the connector is behind the side cover. And okay, there is no connector. That sucks. There's a wire tie. So I guess they never want this client to take his saddlebag off. Ah, okay, the connector's in the bag. Pop that out. All right, the saddlebag is removable. So that wasn't a mistake, but this definitely is. So they ran 8-gauge wire to the amp, and I don't even think they looked in here because I know this wiring kit comes with a 60 amp fuse. So 60 amp fuse for a 2000 watt amplifier. That's not right. Josh is the one that actually caught on to what's going on. This bike previously had a Rockford kit installed, so they left the Rockford wiring. So that's the Rockford wiring fuse to the Rockford 400 watt amp, and they attached a 2400 watt amp to the existing wiring. Crazy. So the nice people at Sound Digital made it really easy for us, and in the manual, it took me 30 seconds to download. It says, recommended fuse when using it for music and non-competition is 120 amps. So that's double the size of what's in there now. And then the cable for power, like I said before on the bike, is recommended 4-gauge, oxygen-free copper. And the speaker cable, they said 13. That's because they're doing the conversion from metric to standard. So 14-gauge speaker wire, they use 18-gauge. 4-gauge power wire, they use 8-gauge. 120 amp fuse, they use 60 amp. So mistakes were made, could have easily been avoided just by reading the manual. Okay, whoever did the install on this bike either doesn't know or doesn't care. So the 6x9s are 4 ohms, and then the fairing speakers are 2 ohms. So the way this would normally be done is either you do 2 ohms in the front, 2 ohms in the back to get more power to the amplifier, or the way we do it, 4 ohm in the front, 2 ohm in the back. That way the 6x9s can catch up with the 6.5. But we would never do 2 ohms in the front, 4 ohms in the back, because that's why the bike was untunable. The front is so much louder than the back, and there's nothing we can do to make the back catch up. So that's a shame you put this big ass 2400 watt amplifier in, and then you have it sending all the power to the front speakers and then half the power to the rear speakers, and then the client's wondering why he can barely hear his rear speakers. It's because they use 4 ohm in the back, 2 ohm in the front. The amplifier is sending 600 watts to the front and 300 watts to the back. The 6x9 is a larger speaker, needs more power to make more mid-bass, and since it's behind the rider, needs more power to let it catch up with the front. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Okay, so we're starting the repairs today. All of this is coming out. We're starting fresh with all new wiring. So we're going to be using our AK4 wiring kit because we're upgrading to 2 amplifiers on this. So this is the wire they should have used, 4-gauge oxygen-free copper. Now you're going to see a difference in thickness between the 4-gauge and the 8-gauge that they used. This is what the owner's manual for the Sound Digital amp recommends. We're going to be using a T-harness, so there will be no jumping power and ground off the amplifier. It's going to come directly off the radio harness. So we're gonna get it fixed up, get it done the right way. Speaker wire harnesses are gonna be upgraded to Tech Flex, oxygen-free copper, 14 gauge for the lid speakers, 10 gauge for the 10-inch mid-bass drivers in the saddlebags.